Alright, we're gonna try some Animus Vanishing Point. Core set 1 can be found on Game Crafter. A game by Ed Rodriguez. And I actually forgot the freaking playmat because I've been using it in videos. But it's a pretty simple layout. You got your entity card or whatever. Yeah, you got your entity in the center. And then you got 2 flanks on the side of it, 2 supports in the back, and a melee in the front, kind of vanguarding. And yeah, that's the setup. And so looking at this diagram, the melees can hit the melees can hit the flanks can hit the flanks, and the flanks can do something, and the flanks can hit the melees, but nothing can hit support. Looks like unless they have a special ping power or something. Looks like.
Yep. Flank hit the flank. Flank hit everything. Flank hit its side of flank.
And yeah, so we do like a 7 Wonders dual type draft. These are the damage counters, the red deals, and then this is a card and dice damage that gets done. And so I've never played, but we're gonna run through the rule book real quick. I kind of went through it before, but yeah, let's just run through the rule book. I should have wrote some notes, but I didn't expect to really play it today. So let's see.
Yeah, I'm up for anything new.
Cool. All right, so the anatomy of a character card, the Animus level on the top left. We've got the type, which is you've got red is talent, green is skill. No, red is power, green is talent, blue is skill. Kind of makes sense. Red power, we got that. Talent is green. Talented enough to make some green money. And then skill is blue crystals. You can craft stuff out of crystal skill. Okay? Then we got type advantage. So kind of like Pokemon. The advantage is blue has an advantage over, the big one has an advantage over the little one. So skill has an advantage over power. That makes sense. And then when you have the skill, you get to roll. When you've got the type advantage, you get to roll 2 dice instead of 1, and you get to pick which dice you prefer to use as the modifier.
So like you roll with advantage.
Yeah, you roll with advantage. Okay. And then melee value is the number up top, and then you can see it has 5 notches on it. So that's how advantageous is it. Hold that for me real quick, and then I'll see how it shows up on the camera. Nah, way too far. All right. Yeah, that'll work if I just hold it up. And then we've got the flank value, which is how it attacks on flank. Okay. Some guys are better as melee, some guys are better as flank. And then we've got the effect text in the bottom. Yeah. And then name of the card, flavor text on the bottom. And then we're good with the card. Drafting characters and entities, you're gonna put this diagram out. 6 on the back row face down, 5 on the row in front of that face up, 4 and 3 face up. So when the card is revealed, when the card is uncovered, then you flip it over, then you can draft that one. So we're gonna do that type of draft. Okay, select entity before drafting. Before drafting begins, shuffle the entity cards and deal 2 to each player. Players secretly select and simultaneously reveal their selected entity. The text on the entity card provides the player with special rules and unique abilities which apply for the remainder of the game. Yeah. Okay, so after drafting, each player shuffles their 9 character cards and places them face down in a stack to form their deck. Each player draws 4 cards from their deck, then selects a card and places it on the bottom of their deck. This is their hand, which should be kept secret. As the game is played, character cards will be added to the play space between the players. This is called the battlefield. Character cards on the battlefield are considered in play. When character cards are discarded from the player's hand or defeated from the battlefield, they will be added to the face-up stack called the discard. Each player has their own side of the battlefield and their own discard. Player 1, the player who drafted first, takes the first turn. Alright, turn order, start phase, 2 tactical phase, 3 combat phase, 4 tactical phase, 5 draw phase, 6 end phase. Start phase. This is the beginning of a player's turn. Card effects with the start keyword that belong to the active player occur during this phase. It is important to remember that start effects are not optional, but a player with multiple start effects chooses the order in which they resolve. 2. First tactical phase. During this phase, a player may perform any number of tactical abilities. It's important to remember that a given tactical ability can only be performed once during a player's turn, not just once during a given tactical phase. A character put into play during this phase can immediately activate a tactical ability and may attack during the following combat phase. Okay, then we got the 3 combat phase. Each of a player's characters may attack or use a combat ability once during this phase. The active player chooses which characters act and the order in which they do so. A player may choose not to act at all during this phase, but a combat phase still occurs during which abilities and effects may occur. 4. Second tactical phase. This phase functions similarly to the first tactical phase. A player may perform any number of tactical abilities which they did not perform during the first tactical phase. Don't forget that a tactical ability can only be performed once, and a character put into play during this phase can activate a tactical ability if it has one. 5. Draw phase. During this phase, the active player draws a card from their deck until their total in hand is 3. A player with 3 cards already in hand does not draw any, and a player with more than 3 cards in hand is not forced to discard any of their cards. End phase. 6. This is the end of a player's turn. Card effects with the end keyword that belong to the active player occur during this phase. It's important to remember that end effects are not optional, but a player with multiple end effects chooses the order in which they resolve. Victory check. Victory is only checked for between player turns. A player might meet a victory condition but falls short by the end of the current turn. In such a case, play continues normally. When checking for victory, add up the Animus levels of all cards in each player's discard. If a player's total equals or exceeds 10 and is greater than their opponent's total, that player loses. Alternatively, if a player has no cards in their deck, hand, and in play, that player loses. Tactical abilities. A number of entity and character cards. A number of entities and character cards in Animus possess abilities with the tactical keyword. A tactical ability can be used once during their player's turn, but can only be used during that player's tactical phases. Most importantly, this means tactical abilities cannot be used during combat. There are 3 core tactical abilities, which are play, switch, and reset, to which players always have access. Tactical ability play, pretty much ETB, I'm sure. This is primarily a way which players will put character cards into play. When playing a card, players select from those in their hand and play to one of the 3 battlefield positions, melee, flank, or support. If the melee position is empty, it must be filled first. In order to play a card into a support position, the flank positions in front of it must already be filled. Okay, immediately after playing a card with play ability, resolve that ability. Okay, important. If a player begins their first tactical phase without any character cards in play, they must play a card before taking any other action. Tactical ability switch. A player using this ability may swap the positions of 2 of their characters. Any 2 characters may trade position except that a character in a support position may only trade places with other support position or the flank positions on their side. Characters may not swap with empty positions. Tactical ability reset. A player using this ability secretly places 1 card from their hand on the bottom of their deck. This can help a player move through their deck if they are hoping for a particular card. This can't be done if a player's deck is empty. If a card has an ability with a reset keyword, that ability occurs immediately after that card is reset to the bottom of the player's deck for any reason. You must show it to your opponent. Combat positions. Each player has 5 combat positions to which they can play character cards. This includes melee position, 2 flank, 2 support. These positions form an arrow pointing to the other side. When playing a character, a player must fill their melee position. They already wrote that. Why are they writing it again? Combat and attacking. During the combat phase, A player may activate each character card in play. Usually this means attacking or resolving a combat ability. Each character may only activate once. When attacking, a player chooses who attacks and what order they attack, and which characters receive each attack. Characters in the melee position can attack opposing melee. Yeah, we know that. Resolving attacks. When attacking the active player and defending player, each roll a die and add a combat value to the result. If a character in the melee position is attacking the opposing melee position character, then use the melee combat values for each character. In all other instances, melee attacking flank, flank attacking melee, and flank attacking flank combat values are used. The character with the higher combat result wins and inflicts 1 damage on the opposing character. Place a damage token on the card. If there is a tie, both characters receive a damage. Almost done. Types and advantage. We already went over there. Power
beats green
talent.
Green beats blue,
and blue beats red.
And it's also noted on every card.
Yep, it's on there. When a character is in combat with another character that has a type advantage against it, the player rolls 2 dice instead of 1 and chooses whichever result they prefer. So don't get both of them, just choose which one you prefer. Killing characters. When a character has 3 damage tokens on it, that character is killed. There are some other effects that may kill a character as well. Remove a killed character from the battlefield and add it to the owning player's discard. Shift other character cards forward as necessary to maintain legal combat positions. See combat positions. Keywords are used in place of many common triggers and effects in Animus. Most are fairly self-explanatory and will quickly become second nature. I'm sure they're on the card, so we're not going to read them right now.
So when you defeat a card, it goes into the discard? I thought it goes into the Animus.
Note the discard. The Animus is just, I think there's only Animus level.
So when you defeat them, they go in here, but then you still get to Animus level for defeating this.
Yeah, like if you get to 10, then you lose.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, if you get to 10 level in your discard, you lose between turns. Timing of abilities, optional abilities, running out of cards.
I think when you defeat something, you gain the Animus, right?
The Animus is not a good thing because the Animus level, once you get, we'll read over the winning the game.
Yeah. I wouldn't think the Animus, because it says a total Animus level of cards that they've defeated exceeds 10.
Yeah, let's see.
So I'm pretty sure when we kill something, we just gain. We have to keep track of the number of what we defeated. Then it goes in discard. It's like you defeat this, that means you gain 2 Animus level.
Yeah, I think they word it like that, but I think it's really just if you have 10 in your discard.
No, because there's other things that manipulate your discard. I wouldn't think they would do that because this person can has a discards and then puts something from the discard back in the hand. That would make this person the most broken person. Because then you can just put all your cheap stuff in and put your more expensive stuff out. I think we individually will gain Animus points when we defeat things. I think that's what.
Okay, objective. Animus is a 2 to 4 player card game in which players draft a team of 9 unique characters from a spanning multiverse to battle while leading their team with one of several large entity cards. A player wins if the total Animus level of cards they defeated equals or exceeds 10. So if the opponent has 10 in their discard.
So I think when we defeat something, because like I said, there's ways to manipulate discard in here. I think it was just when we.
But I think if I've got 10 in my discard, then you would win between turns. Because a player wins if the total Animus level of cards they defeated equals or exceeds 10, or their opponent's deck, hand, and battlefield have all been depleted of cards.
Alright, I was just thinking I thought we kept track of like how many points we have so far. Off to the
You
side.
probably could if you wanted to,
Because,
but it's also like.
So it's also in the discard.
Yep. But I mean, if you wish to, you can.
I'm just saying this person's really good.
Oh, okay. We'll get 2 options and then we'll.
She's
see.
able to discard a card. She's able to pull a card from the discard back to the hand. And you just put all your 1s in there. Pick up any 2s or 3s.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
That's how it works.
So just additional rules. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. So So we'll just keep this diagram right here out.
Oh, it's a once per game.
Yeah, once per game. That makes sense.
So once per turn. Okay.
We'll
She has the only ability that's once per game. But I mean, you just switch out maybe a 3 in this card or 1. Alright, so I'm shuffling this and hand you 2 and hand me 2.
Yep.
These 2.
Go.
These 2.
It.
So decide. Whichever one you don't click with face down, it tells you the order of play. Cool. Oh, okay.
No, like pull out your mains. By the way, you did like your mains. He pulled them out of blue.
All right, so say like once one of these cards is exposed, then that one becomes available. And then we're drafting our 9-card deck, and then we keep 3 in hand basically between turns.
Yes.
All right.
Well, I mean, you want to roll off, see who goes first?
Sure.
The first to pick is the first to play. Got 3, so I'll go first.
I'll go first. Easy.
If I'm not sleeping at all Friday.
So these 2 numbers, which one is attack damage and which one?
They're both, so if it was melee on melee, we would use that top number. And if any flank is involved, then it'll be that number.
So if it's attacking a flank, and then
If flank is involved in any way, then it's going to be that bottom number. Just read that again to make sure.
and the health total is the same as the number, or
So everybody's health total, once they hit 3, they get discarded, they die.
so they go like a 1-to-1 hit, and then whoever loses gets a damage.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like they'll take 4 damage from this.
No, just 1 damage at a time, unless special
This is
things.
definitely a flank here.
Yeah, so reading that again. During the combat phase, a player may activate each character's card in play. Usually this means attacking or resolving a combat ability. Each character may only activate once. When attacking, a player chooses who attacks and what order they attack and which characters receive each attack. Characters in a melee position can attack any opposing melee or flank position characters. Characters in the flank position can attack the opposing melee position characters or the opposing flank position characters across from them. Support position characters can't normally perform attacks and resolving attacks. When attacking, the active and defending player each roll a die and add it to the combat value to the result. If a character in the melee position is attacking the opposing melee character, then use the melee combat values for each character. In all other instances, melee attacking flank, flank attacking melee, and flank attacking flank combat values are used. So anytime flank is involved, you're going to use the flank values. But if it's melee on melee, then you just use the melee values.
Hey man, I'm about to get up out of here.
Alright,
Take it easy.
See you later, man. Come to that key for us one night.
I know.
One of these nights.
I'm like that person. I'm gonna come, but I don't. I mean, it's just
Yeah, I know. It's a lot to do.
fucking kill me.
Freaking night.
Take it easy, man.
Alright, be good.
I'm gonna pay for the Dark Assassin, so
Dark
you
Assassin.
still only have these 2 to deal with.
Alright. Timely Kerrigan. Switch the positions of any 2 cards in play controlled by 1 player. And then we got Floria Iris, Pixie. And maybe not Pixie. Ongoing, this card does not receive damage in combat if the combat totals are equal. So melee 2, flank 4. Basically the same character.
Yeah, but this one you can put a support back in the front. It's really nice. A support ability. This one is you kind of want to trade or you want to get ties.
Yeah, it's 16 more powerful. And you want to pay attention to what the opponent is drafting the color so you can have more advantage.
What color is that?
I don't know.
I'll tell you the one I drafted the color is.
All Alright, I got red on green. What you got?
This is a red.
Nah, yeah, same thing. Alright, now there's no cards covering these two cards, so we'll flip these now.
No. But you are in style.
Oh, so the viewers, we got
You are going to be
Juvia Valentine, one Animus level, green on blue, and a 3/3 melee and flank combat. Place 1 damage on any card and then 1 damage on this card. And we got Ninian, Pelennor, 3 Animus, red on green, 3/3. Play, you may place 1 damage on all other cards in play. Yeah, that's crazy. But the Animus level is so high to where you would benefit the opponent if they got killed.
I'm actually going to. 3 costs nice. Small people.
Oh yeah, before we even did that, we should have selected.
Select these first?
Yeah, we should have selected that.
Okay. So your pet don't just you're gonna keep.
I'm gonna pick the Fallen Angel. List.
But pretty much as y'all are walking down the road,
It's because I'm always a sucker of the cute girl in games.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I feel it. Alright, so we don't reveal yet, but we'll play the ones that we're playing in the center, and then these will be our reference cards on the back. Alright, so my flip, so we flip these, and we got Krizia, Yakaya, and Inertia. Flash. The girl flash. Reset, select 2 cards in play controlled by 1 player, and move 1 damage from one to another. And ongoing, this card can only be attacked once per turn. But 3 Animus level versus 1 Animus level. And it's my pick or yours? It's my pick, right? It's your pick. Yeah.
He went for the hell. That's okay.
I want to spread out the code.
No.
Yeah, let's see. It's a kind of card.
It's like, I don't know if I wanted it, but I know I didn't want you to have it.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's gonna get it, so.
But anyways, you notice after being done, like staring at this tower, you look around and the Drake and Daryl's have suspiciously disappeared. They're very Yes, they are very
Julia.
No, he saw a tower. He doesn't know what it is.
Reaction, when one of your cards receives damage, you may assign that damage to this card instead. Have melee, 1 flank.
So pretty much y'all will
Dark Moon, end, return this card to your hand. This ability is negated if this card has any damage on it.
yeah.
Yeah, you seem pretty tricky. I'll go ahead and
Pretty much the owner of
So it comes out your hand, it pretty much removes all damage counters on it.
take it. Yeah, but you can't do it if it has damage on it.
seems weird.
Right?
Oh, but you gotta heal it somehow.
Oh, it does that, yeah.
Every now
And
and
then
then,
so it always just comes back to your hand, so it doesn't stay out and continue fighting.
Yeah.
You only play 1 card per tactical phase? Or any number of tactical abilities.
Yeah, play. Yeah.
and pretty much when you get
I guess it can't be
came
attacked
off
with
the
the
tower,
counter hand.
you notice he's very eccentric. And not exactly all probably
Okay, got
literally like even your the son the other later needs so you can help. And as soon as you do that, he just okay and starts piloting the shit somewhere else. Just, and that's where Valkyrie pops up. As y'all are entering the tower, you hear
Come on down.
Okay, so this would have to get bounced back to hand because optional abilities, the word may indicates that the completion of an effect is not required and the player is in control of that effect, may choose not to resolve it. All other card text must be carried out as written.
And he deals with it. The Giants have been causing
It resets from your hand or in play.
Reset. Yeah, I'll start reading these keywords. Reset. This ability activates when the card with this effect is placed on the bottom of a player's deck for any reason.
Okay, so I
Cards
think
with the,
reset is a tactical. I think I can cover my hand to the bottom of my deck in order to reset.
your cards with the reset ability must be revealed to the opponent before activation.
Alright.
Reaction: if this card is in play and the listed condition occurs, apply this effect. Play: this ability activates when the card with this effect is played from a player's hand or is put onto the battlefield by another effect. Ongoing: as long as this card is in play, this ability is in effect. Haunt: this ability may be activated once per turn during a tactical phase while the card with this effect is in your discard. Alright, that's cool. Kill: this ability activates when the card with this effect kills another card through damage or another effect. End: this ability activates during the end phase of the controlling player's turn. Death: this activates when the character card with it is killed and discarded from the battlefield.
His reaction once per turn. Oh, no. This card is in play and listed occurs apply the effect. So I can have it any time. Reaction one.
I'll get Roar. Ongoing: this card deals 1 extra damage during combat if it has 2 damage on it.
This allows me to play 2 cards.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
I might be screwing myself with colors. But you haven't been paying attention to what I picked up.
Not at all. Not at all.
Same.
I'm grabbing Inertia.
I'm gonna grab both.
Makes sense. This one is open. Take Night Wind. Play until the start of your next turn. Your cards can't be attacked.
All 4 seasons, and
Those are both good cards.
but it depends if you're trying to watch the seasonal sponsor.
I'll just go ahead and get her.
Stone Tower.
The way that works.
Okay, charge. This card is always placed in the melee position, moving any previous cards further back. Start. This ability activates during the start phase of the controlling player's turn. Tactical. This ability may be activated once per turn during a tactical phase while the card with this effect is in play. Triggered. This ability may be activated while a card with this effect is in a player's hand. When the condition occurs, the card is placed on the bottom of the player's deck to resolve the effect text. This does not prevent you from performing a normal reset on your turn. This may not be done if the player does not have any cards in their deck. Yeah, a lot of guys they got it too. Mythia Makaton. Play, look at a player's hand, choose a card and reset it. Sam Armitage. Ongoing, this card requires 1 extra damage in order to be killed. That sounds good to me. Neutrino, tactical, reset this card. You may only do this if you have at least 1 other card in your deck. Yeah, but reset. This ability activates when the card with this effect is placed on the bottom of a player's deck for any reason. Cards with the reset ability must be revealed to the opponent before activation.
So why would I want to reset?
There's probably another reset you can combo with, I'm thinking.
Or if it can be reset from in play, then it goes by my deck and the damage counters would get removed then.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be the way for not to be killed. Pretty good spread on colors.
I'm forced to take Mythia. Play, look at the player's hand, choose a card and reset it. We got Lixia with reset. Select any card in play and remove 1 damage from it. And we got Gale. Play, search your deck for any. And I got Lixia. Alright, now we can start playing.
Alright, is it shuffle?
Gotta shuffle. Set up, create draft, select entities, draft card. Yeah, shuffle decks and draw 4 cards. Each player draws 4 cards from their deck, then selects a card and places it on the bottom of their deck. That's cool. So you can set up resets, I guess.
Watch my search review at the bottom.
Oh man, player 2 is supposed to draft twice during their first turn. Do we both have 9 cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
But you see an inkwell that is about up to release.
Right, and then we'll reveal our entities. I got Minty. Ongoing during your turn, you may reset 2 cards instead of 1 in any order.
And I got Fallen Angel. As a reaction, once per turn, when one of my cards would receive damage and would be killed, I may move that damage to another one of my cards.
And that's only when somebody dies, right?
Yeah, when it would receive damage, I would kill it.
Okay, cool.
Yours is
Ongoing during your turn, you may reset 2 cards instead of 1 in any order.
that's why you pick up the reset cards.
Not intentionally, I just knew resets ain't pretty good.
It's like, I don't know if I have many ways to resets.
Forgot I had this chick with me.
So it's like, yeah. Well, I think you almost got almost all the resets.
Cool thing is there's still probably 18 cards that we did not draft.
That's unfortunate. I was thinking, I was like, yeah, I have a way to reset. And like, I don't think he does either. Yes, he does.
I do. Alright, so we put our entity in the center, melee will be in front of that, and then flank and support.
Flank and support. Alright, and draw 4.
Yep, draw 4. And then bottom deck be one of them. So yeah.
We draw 4 and then we put one of the 4 we draw to the bottom of our deck.
Yep.
But also, I would put, yeah, you could definitely fit it into the bag of holding on the trail. The personal bag of holding is like a satchel, so it's like about big enough to about big enough to shove a person kind of through with a lot of effort. It catches. Here we go. The bigger the object, the more likely you are to rip open this. A little bit more pliable thing too. Shave off and on. You're not you do not put living people in that molding except for me.
The load shall be shot. Dumpster fire, the wonder is here.
So basically the bottom card, you're not going to see it for a while.
Yeah, unless you got the reset stuff going on, I think.
I got news for you. Before, whenever it's still time. Yeah.
You drew higher and you rolled higher, so I think you go first.
Alright. Do I have to play a melee person for a flank or?
Yeah, you gotta put the melee first.
Alright. Did you see what they made?
That is.
Yeah, it's a single white trailer. It's a single. I know.
Okay, so when playing a character, a player must first fill their melee position if it's currently empty. A character may only be played to a support position if the flank position on its side is already filled.
Alright. And then,
So you can play one flank and then one
do things have,
support.
and do things have summoning sickness, or because I'm going first, you'll be able to attack me first?
As it just starts raining money, are you trying to catch them?
I think you only deal damage to characters. So can't attack the
I was
enemy.
just wondering if you play your melee, you get this thing attack me. Oh, then we attack each other.
It's always a 2-way combat.
No, Rose, I'm just gonna put the thing I put at the bottom right here, and you take this back to this deck because I was confused about if I could play stuff I'm playing first. Alright, and I guess since I have to play here first, then play brick.
Okay.
So y'all in total get about 10 gold coins that
I can only play one card, right? Or I can play as many as I want.
Play turn order, start phase, tactical phase. A player may perform any number of tactical abilities. It's important to remember that any given tactical ability may only be performed once during the player's turn.
So, I can either place, switch, or reset.
Okay, we'll go into tactical abilities. A number of entity and character cards in Animus possess abilities with the tactical keyword. The tactical ability can only be used during the player's turn, but can only be used during that player's tactical phase. Most importantly, this means tactical abilities cannot be used during combat. There are 3 core tactical abilities played. So we're reading the tactical abilities. Okay, start phase, first tactical phase. During this phase, the player may perform any number of tactical abilities. It is important to remember that a given tactical ability can only be performed once during the player's turn, not just once during a given tactical phase. A character put in play during this phase can immediately activate a tactical ability and may attack during the following combat phase. So tactical ability play. This is the primary way in which players will put character cards into play. When playing a card, players select from those in hand and play to one of the 3 battlefield positions. If the melee position is empty, it must be filled first. In order to play a card into the support position, the flank position in front of it must already be filled. See combat positions for more info. Immediately after playing a card with the play ability, resolve that ability. If a player begins their tactical phase without any cards, players must play a card before taking any other actions.
I was just wondering, how many cards can we play a turn? Just the one?
Yeah, man, trying to. It says like something about only 1 tactical ability per turn. So it's sounding like you can only play 1 card per turn.
Yeah, then you can do 1 play, 1 switch, 1 reset.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Alright.
Yeah, 1 play, 1
Switch, 1 reset. Alright, I'm gonna play, I guess, brick.
So you get 3 guys.
And there's nothing for me to attack, so I guess it goes over to you. And then I draw up to 3.
For the sake of the video, I guess I'll go ahead and read switch and reset at this point too. A player using this ability may swap the positions of 2 of their characters. Any 2 characters may trade position, except for a character in a support position may only trade places with the other support position or the flank position on their side. Characters may not swap empty positions. Tactical ability reset. A player using this ability secretly places 1 card from their hand on the bottom of their deck. This may help a player move through their deck if they are hoping for a particular card. This can't be done if a player's deck is empty.
Well, then, yeah, you would actually be the one.
Alright. So you played brick and then you said you passed turn?
I don't think I can do anything else. I can reset if I wanted to.
Yeah, I understand that too.
I don't really want to.
Okay.
We didn't get to understand that. As far as I know, you're just like stabbing groins.
Just allows me to put this at the bottom.
But,
I'm good.
Okay.
fair enough. But you would recognize it after when the giant was talking to you that he actually is in fact carrying.
And then I drop the 3. End my turn.
Giant size.
After my, there's nothing for me to fight, so there's no combat phase, and I don't want to play any of their tactical stuff, so I draw.
Wizard staff, like just capital W. He got powers. He got powers on
And we're gonna shoot those people in the trees because they're in the trees. So
Give me a coin.
I have 1, I have 2, that's 4.
Krizia Yakaya. She has an ongoing. This card can only be attacked once per turn. And then I did a play, so can I do a switch? Nope. Do I want to reset? Maybe. I will. I will not reset. Well, I mean, let's live life from the wild side. During your turn, you may reset 2 cards instead of 1 in any order.
Especially when they have motors that you like have to plug into an actual like specialty plug. I forgot.
And screw that. Oh, I was supposed to draw a card too, wasn't I?
Play D&D and play D&D.
No, at the end of the turn,
Every time you draw
a
the
card.
turn, yeah. You can reset if you want.
Like I forgot.
Nah, I won't reset. But I will. Okay, now we go into the combat phase.
Resetting is more like cycling. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And you can do 2 instead of 1. That's I like your character.
That's pretty good.
I like my character too, but yours is pretty cool.
I like mine. Alright, so we'll go to combat phase. So we're blue on red, both of us, so no advantage there.
I have 5 and you have 4.
Yeah, but you got 5, I got 4, so it depends on the roll. And then, yeah. Alright. Roll it.
So, since I have 5, what else? Add 5 to the die roll or something?
Yeah, that's it. So we'll add our melee on melee damage, 5 and 4 to our dice roll, and then whoever wins does not take a damage. So we tie, so we both take damage.
Alright.
9 on 9.
Pretty much where people visualize like a building.
Okay. And 3 damage, we kill one of the characters. Well, 3 damage, we kill a character. Yep. Alright. And then with that, combat phase is done. Each of a player's characters may attack or use combat ability once. Tactical phase. Play, switch, reset. Oh, I was supposed to do that later. Oh, tactical phase too. Okay, so you can't do the same thing. Like if you played a card, you couldn't go and play more cards.
Yeah, you do something
You
else.
can't do the same thing. You got to do something else.
Yeah.
Draw phase. Draw cards from your deck until the total in your hand is 3. You got 3. Yo, I could cycle easily with this chick. All right.
If you know cards, yeah, like I want this guy out early.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so it's my turn.
In phase. Yep.
That means I drew one of the cards I want early. So I am going to. In tactical phase, I'm going to play. I have to play my flanks before I can play my supports.
Yo. Well, I mean, you can play one flank and then play a support behind that with no flank on the other side.
Yeah.
Somehow we've acquired
I'm going to do a list which allows me to play a second card. And I'm going to play a Gale.
Nice.
pretty much the idea is like
Yeah, let's do the go.
you literally can
Yeah, so I get to search my deck for a card and place it into my hand.
Will Wisp allows you to play another card.
It's good early. Later it could be, when all your stuff is filled, it's probably not that great.
And it's probably always good. Search your deck for a card, tutor a card. It's pretty darn good.
stuff out. Yes.
Yeah. Cheerleaders is popular, calling out reinforcements.
Running scenarios, overthinking everything. No.
This is what I have in hand. Am I going to play it correctly? Probably not.
Alright, I'm going to put this card.
Wait.
It doesn't say I shuffle, so I guess it's the same order. And it makes sense you shuffle when you search your deck, right? And,
Yeah, I would think so. Well,
I know it's on the bottom because that's when I reset, but
yeah, that reset probably. I don't know.
since it didn't say,
We'll say not for right now.
yeah.
I'll look for it.
Alright. Then I get to attack.
I was gonna throw down one sentence, have you hang on to it.
Okay.
By the way, call that
I and your person can only be attacked once per turn, so it's not like I can't.
Oh, yeah,
I can't
that's
attack. I can't attack all three, which is a real pain. I was like, I got these two cards. I was like, haha, I'm gonna be able to do all this and then attack all 3 times. But nope, because this one person can only attack once.
Yeah, one big. I'm glad I put her out first.
She's really good defender. She's the only one. So I'm gonna do Gale. She's 4 going into your 2, and she is green, so you'd be I roll with advantage, and you're adding 2, and I'm adding 4.
He starts climbing back down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
7 total. Still.
They're reptiles, actually.
No women's. All right, I'll take a. So that was a 7 on a
7 on the
4. So I'll take a damage. All right. Luckily, she can't get attacked again this time.
Actually, no, technically, he just has to climb.
All right.
All right. So now
Just climb
those combat tactics
I draw
phase 2.
I draw it back up unless I want to reset a card or switch a card. I don't. So,
And then you drew.
mhm.
Okay.
Yours can literally just jump in the water.
Yeah.
Savage.
That's supposed to be convention.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, as you're hiding behind the
Said she would find you in resources.
probably because all of a sudden you just hear.
Play Lixia on flank. And whenever I reset, select any card in play and remove 1 damage from it.
I thought it was when that resets.
Oh yeah, let's go reset.
So I thought it was when that card, you reset that card.
Yeah, that's fine.
So then you reset from your hand. And you reset from the field unless it's that one guy. So I was like, are you sure you want to play her instead of somebody else? Because her ability is reset from your hand to the bottom of the deck.
Ability activates when the card with this effect is placed on the bottom of the player's deck for any reason.
Hand to the bottom of your deck, and so when you do that, you would show this card like it has a reset ability, and you do the ability. Otherwise, it doesn't have the ability.
But it says this ability activates when the card.
The card with this effect, which is this is the card with the effect.
Yep. It's placed on the bottom of a player's deck for any reason. Cards with the reset ability must be revealed to the opponent before activation.
So like so
So I can reset her and then.
yeah, but you have to reset. You have to reset from your hand. So you can play someone else because you thought you could reset from the field. From my understanding,
makes sense.
only that one guy that I purchased can be reset from the field
Yeah, that makes
because
sense.
it was a tactical ability that allowed to reset him.
I'll play Roar as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And so ongoing, this card deals 1 extra damage during combat if it has 2 damage on it.
Okay. Its flank only is 2, which is
Not great.
not great.
Yes.
All right, play 1 guy for turn on my tactical phase.
So how much food do I
I
have?
could switch.
This guy,
Yeah, that would
this
make
guy's
sense.
tactical's only 1.
You
So,
have the starting rations you
Yeah.
have to skip.
You could choose not to attack as well. Because it's melee attack.
Yep.
And also, I wouldn't attempt to have drip. In my
Okay.
opinion, that's all the platinum ones. He's all fine.
What I'll do is I'm not gonna switch, but what I will do is I will reset Lixia. So whenever she's reset from hand, then she selects any card in play and removes 1 damage from it. So I'll remove a damage from Crizia by resetting Lixia. Remove a damage.
And you can still reset again if you want to. If you don't like the other card in your hand. Or if you keep drawing your reset cards. That's why if you filled your entire deck with reset cards, that'd be
sick.
really cool.
I kind of like this chick, but
I mean, you can keep you're drawing 2 cards. So. It's just if you want to draw 2 or. And you still, since you're still in your first tactical phase, you can still attack if you want to.
yeah. Yeah, let me get rid of her and then. When you reset to draw, no. When you reset to draw something else, no. Do you draw when you reset?
No.
No.
But you always draw up to 3, so when you reset, you'll draw more during your draw step.
There you
So
go.
you just reset both of those cards? Okay.
Yeah, so I'll draw back up to 3. All right. And then I'll go into my combat phase, which I can. Each of a player's characters may attack or use a combat ability once per turn.
Well, let's see. You could switch
each up you play, so you can choose to attack with both of them, or one of them, or none of them.
Questions asked.
Okay.
And he's just upstairs.
You kind of disadvantage each one. Well, this is a red going into a green. I have a green here, but he's on the wrong side.
So yeah, I think I will.
The blue can go into my red here.
Yeah, so blue has an advantage against red, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I'll try to get Will-O-Wisp right there.
So you roll with advantage, and I only roll one die, and you have a +2, while I have a +4 because it's a flank.
Yep.
Well, you keep close with me.
2, yeah, that's 4.
That's why I kept him on flanks. Oh, good roll too.
Yeah, 7 on 6.
7 on 10. No, yeah, but
Oh yeah.
7 on 10.
No way.
Yeah. So she takes the damage.
Yeah, that advantage isn't worth it.
I mean, no, when I rolled a 6, I think it's worth it. I think
Yeah. 6 though, yeah.
That's
1, 2, 5.
That's what I was like, I'm putting him here because he's a fun. I might just not attack with him. You still attack him if it's not him.
Yeah.
But he has advantage. But if he only has a 1, when he has a 2, but no, I don't know if that's what it is. This probably, no, this and this will have been a 5 and a 4. So.
Hold up. I'll take that. I'm into do that.
You can always switch them.
Whatever your next D20 roll is, that's it.
Yeah, that might have been a good move.
You still can. It doesn't matter.
But I mean, you can only do it on the tactical phase, not on the
Yeah.
combat phase.
I need to go stare at the big map that's open.
Of course, he's a red. Break it. Push into him hard.
But it would use flank because that's a flank right now.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, I guess the best thing to do is to go into that green.
you can't attack green because the flanks can attack their flanks, but it's on the table. It's on the chart.
Oh yeah, that would make a lot of sense. That's cool.
So yeah, since he's on your right.
Oh yeah, didn't think about that. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, this adds another layer of depth right there. That's cool.
We can play another game after this.
Oh yeah. All right.
It's one
So.
of the games you have to play once and then think about.
Oh yeah.
You say you have a playback for this game?
Yeah, I got to play that. I've just been using it for videos. So didn't think about it.
If you play it again, we'll play it again.
You would have.
Yeah, seems like a pretty quick game. Now that we got it learned. Yeah,
It's a
so
very good idea to
so I could attack here. At 2-on-1, yeah, I guess the best thing to do is go 2-on-1 for me.
I roll with advantage because
Yeah, because we're in 2-on-1 right there.
I mean, if he gets 2 damage, he can then swing for 2 damage back.
Okay. Pretty much, you would recognize this as like.
Alright, screw it, I'm still going in.
Alright.
So, roar, attack, and break.
I mean, I've rolled bad.
Off the table.
Yep. Oh, I rolled bad.
Then I roll back too, so it ties, so we both take a damage.
I got 2.
Yeah, so you got a 3 and I got a 3, so we both.
2 both take it, which is probably one of the best ones for you.
Yeah, it's alright.
Of course, when he's lethal, I can start moving stuff damage over to other things.
So I could switch if I wanted to now. Do I want to switch?
Could go ask.
Who I want to switch?
I know, that's why I'm like, we should just go upstairs now.
It's literally just a.
I'll leave him put.
I mean, if you had support, I'd be like, this guy's almost dead. Like, I'm moving to support so you keep the attack. But,
All he does is walk up to it.
my turn, I have tactical phase.
Draw back up to 3 at the end of the turn. And in phase.
Tiffany, come on. Let's stand on the.
Got these guys.
Get up.
Actually, wait, no.
I don't know if I should go. I should go hard.
Go hard. Or go home.
Alright. I have a
Storm
combo.
closes in 2 hours.
I I have a combo, but this is also pretty good.
I have all the bag of holdings.
Do I do a combo or do I try to kill both of your people? That is the question.
The combo would be cooler for the camera. Well, killing both my people would be great.
Combo would move both his cards out. Or I can play the one card. It's not either one of them. Yeah. I'm going to wipe your board. I'm going to play Blaze here.
Lydia broke it all up and she.
My friends and family will not.
That's +1 to my rolls.
Oh yeah, nice.
So I'm going to then move to. Doesn't matter right now. There. These two are better flankers than me, so she's staying in support.
Pretty much you're on the
I'm going to attack the enemy to him. With advantage. It's a who? It's a 1 and a 2, but I have advantage on him. Well, he has a +1, so it's pretty much a 2-2, and I have advantage when you don't. So if your one roll beats both of my rolls, then I win because I have a 5 and you have a 4. His opposing rolls. So he takes the damage, and then I'm going to attack her to him with a 4 versus 2. That's a 1 die for me. Well, it's a 5 versus a 2 because it's a +1 to all my rolls.
5 versus 2.
He's gone.
One Animus of 10 that you need.
It's so good, dude.
Yep, and then she's going to attack her with
What song
advantage.
was it?
I started by turning out my cards really well.
Oh yeah, I see
I
it.
had these two, and I was like, I don't think. And then drew the this, and I thought it's really better. Alright. I mean, I could with this roll. Gale with an advantage going into her. 5 going into 2.
I know, I'm not.
Okay, no. I'm over 6.
Oh yeah, so weird.
That advantage is really good. So she's going to. And now you have to play it into your neighbor.
Cool.
Alright. Because I have her, I don't really think I need to move break. Because if you do melee, then you have to be a 5 going into 2 or 2.
Yeah. Smart. Right.
That's why I like her. She's a wall. I think these two are maybe two of the strongest. I even pulled the girl pulls send them to the discard. Like, I can replace maybe a 3 for the 1.
Oh yeah.
Or pull a really good card from that died. Like you can pull your her because she's really good.
Yeah.
She's definitely very
Coming
good.
out, yeah.
But alright. That is my turn. I'm gonna
Yeah, through 1 too many.
should be up to 3 cards.
3, yeah.
I drafted also very well. Because you shouldn't. That guy who allows me to tactical reset him. It says reset this card. That with her, I could put all the damage from people who are about to die on him and then reset him.
Insanity.
This combo is pretty good. But it seems like if you filled your hand, your deck with that reset stuff, it could be good. But if I play aggro like I am, which is why I placed an easy game,
I've got not a good single.
beat him down hard, beat him down fast. You don't have a good melee.
No good melee.
You can still attack one of my side people because it'll be a 4 and 4.
But what I will do is I will reset with Tinley Kerrigan. Reset, switch the positions of any 2 cards in play controlled by 1 player.
Yeah, he's gonna move up.
So getting break back in the
Put him back in sport order.
yeah. Putting
Well,
break
he's
back
one
in-
away from dying. I wouldn't. Of course, I can always move it over. So it doesn't matter. So where do you want to move?
Everybody's good.
I mean, these 2 are bad melee.
Yeah.
So
So moving. And let's move Brick and Gale.
Yeah, it has
it might be good hit on Gale.
hit modifiers.
Man.
Target all.
I was gonna switch Gale out because she's kind
Yep. And with that, I will go into my combat phase. Got a little advantage on Gale, so I'll swing 2 on bills.
It's a 2.
4. No, 2.
2 and 2, but you have
2 and
advantage.
2, but I got 2 dice I'm rolling.
Unless you roll 1. Unless you roll 2 ones. 3 highs.
Yeah, alright, and just barely made it with a 3. Alright.
I could.
And then I've got this stupid dark moon though on the end phase. I have to, because there's no May in this, I gotta return this card back to my hand.
So I'm gonna do
This
something.
ability is negated if this card has any damage on it.
So I'm gonna do
I
something.
kinda wanted the damage.
I'm gonna do something silly.
Okay.
Instead of Gale taking damage, just because I can, and it's for the camera.
Okay.
Whenever one of my cards receives damage, I may assign it to him instead. But when he receives the damage that would kill him, I may move that to another person. I'm gonna move it back to my support.
And that's what that one does?
Reaction once per turn.
Okay.
And this is also whenever this is not even once per turn. That's what makes it really good.
Oh yeah, nice. Oh yeah, that's sick. Alright, yeah, that's a beef.
I saw Brick as like combos.
That's what brick is good for.
Unless there's like an errata where you can't do this and this.
No, I mean that's what it's there for. Right. And yep, that's all I can do on my end phase.
There's a keyword if it's assign or receive. I don't
Draw
know.
back up to 3.
It's not clear. That's kind of broken. I wouldn't think that would.
But I mean, he sucks on flank and support, so sucks on flank.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, he's really broken when it's combined with this.
Yeah.
I would think another person I can assign it, but this person one of my cards receives damage. I wonder if it matters, assign or receive. So that
I
works.
mean, I would think it's the same thing, but we can look it up later.
Alright. Otherwise, I can just feed all my damage to my supports back here that can't even be attacked. That'd be a nice wall. But I mean, it can only be once a turn. If you had a lot of people out, then it wouldn't matter. I can't attack you anyways because you're person.
Yeah, but I have no guys.
So you pull your person back. So
Yeah,
that's
nothing happens.
So that's that's good that they're there. 'Cause
But you still got board state.
I do, but if you keep putting out, that's a permanent
Yeah,
stall.
well, I mean, then that's crazy. Yeah.
That's kind of a thing. It's a
Yeah,
permanent
that's the
stall.
thing.
And then you keep resetting with your ability, see if you can do something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that might need to be addressed at some point. But I mean, it's just not sportsmanlike to keep doing that.
I did this. That was kind of like,
No, I mean that's
kind of beating down.
combo.
That's kind of beating down a dead horse. Alright, so my turn. I get to play a card. I'm gonna play the Dark Assassin, which is who I fished out.
Okay.
When a tie occurs in combat, I'm gonna place 1 damage on the combatant. So if it's high, then pretty much I'll make you have 2 damage instead of only 1. I'm gonna reset. And I'm gonna reset this one.
Right.
And then I can't attack anything. Let's see if I want to switch it up. I'm gonna switch Brick back up in here. And then I can't attack, so kill your turn. So I draw. I'm almost out of cards. Game's pretty fast.
Oh yeah, if you can't draw and everything,
no.
then you still lose.
No, it's not. It's not mill. It's
Like I mean, if you have nothing in play,
if you have nothing in hand or in hand.
Yeah, but still, Dark Moon could still end up.
We assumed you were following, but didn't realize.
That seems silly. She can always use her ability at the end of the turn.
You have to because it doesn't say May on it.
Huh. So you could potentially just mill me out. I guess I can. No?
But you still got cards in play, so you can't.
Wait, are we gonna do the other? Is it one of those names?
I can always just concede on the next game.
Yeah. Seems like that's what it is.
Chamberlain, Jesse Lynn.
So I'm gonna
The game probably doesn't have board wipes like that.
That's why it's a faster game, so it doesn't matter if it goes slightly bounce on the way. It's like this way. You play it real quick and then move on to the next game.
Nobody got no time. I mean, you got 3 guys in the top in front.
So the cheerleader and the girl in the wheelchair, the little demon girl in the wheelchair. Alright, I finish you off.
You got advantage here. You got advantage here.
You've seen this before, but
This gets bounced to hand. Yeah, I'll proceed on this one. It's easy.
My combo was this. But like if I can maybe try to get ties and then she doesn't take any damage to ties and he doesn't, so you take 2 damage but I take no damage, but then I was like, how can I force a tie?
so is your on the platform?
Well, I would force a tie whenever it was advantage, and then I would just force a tie. That way you would take 2 damage instead of 1 damage. That's what I was thinking. This is kind of a combo-esque, where I'd force a tie with her, she wouldn't take any damage on the tie, and he would. But the other person would, and he would do it against her. I was like, that's pretty neat. I saw it at the very beginning, before I really realized, wait, we were doing roll die. It's kind of really hard to get ties. So I was hoping, like, we pick guys also with 4, and we just clash with 4 and 4.
Yeah.
When the dice make it work. I also rolled well this game, so that was probably a thing you could say. He just rolled better, which is true.
Which is true.
And then I had this guy in my hand. So until my next turn, I couldn't re-attack. So I could have just done that.
He's at the orb to kind of.
Yeah, you got a lot going on with that deck.
Yeah, I was just. This is a place of damage on card, pinching off, and then so that's what I would have done as well. If I had a way to finish off the 10, I'd been like, place this down. If I had room up here, and then finish off the person. She takes 1 damage, but oh well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to use this combo next time.
Yeah, that breaking falling angel.
It's a thing. It only works once per round. So.
Just to mess with you, I do have
So yeah, you wanna 8:30. You wanna try to get into some ashes. I might have to run at any minute,
Ashes
but I
will
might
take a while
still
to
be here
set
till
up.
10.
Ashes takes longer than this game.
You wanna go again with this? Or wanna go with some variety? Cut the camera though for your games.
How about I go get the